Presidential candidate Donald Trump has allegedly promised that he will release UFO information and everything that he knows about UAP footage if he gets back into office in the upcoming general election coming up in, I believe it's November. Now, this is absolutely mind-boggling, and it actually comes from the Lex Friedman podcast that he did with Donald Trump. This is the clip right here. Just tell me what you think about this.
A lot of people are very interested in the footage of UFOs. The Pentagon has released a few videos, and there's been anecdotal reports from fighter pilots. So a lot of people want to know, will you help push the Pentagon to release more footage, which a lot of people claim is available?
Oh, yeah, sure, I'll do that. I would do that. I'd love to do that. I have to do that. But they also are pushing me on Kennedy. And I did release a lot, but I had people come to me and beg me not to do it. But I'll be doing that very early on. But I would do that.
A lot of
Now, that's really interesting. Of course, obviously, there's been a lot of speculation around John F. Kennedy and what he knew about UFOs and UAPs recently as well. And it's interesting that Donald Trump jumped straight to John F. Kennedy. And it's even more interesting that he said that he has to do it. Now, the question is, of course, in the presidency and the presidential build-up, you know, presidential candidates will say absolutely anything to get voters, right? They will say that they'll do X, Y, and Z. It's not just in America. They do it all the time. In the UK, the prime ministers or the prime minister candidates did the exact same thing in our general election back in July, or back in June, sorry. I'm not surprised. Now, it's really interesting to hear Donald Trump firsthand say, yeah, I'll do that for sure. Now, this isn't, of course, the first time that Donald Trump has said that he would do that, and it's not the first time that presidential candidates have said that they will do it, and of course, we are no further forward at the time of recording. But what's interesting is people have had a little bit of backlash regarding this, and there's been posts on Reddit saying any presidential candidate who promises to declassify or disclose UFO info on their own is lying. UFO/non-human intelligence secrets are hidden under the Atomic Energy Act. Presidents do not have the authority to declassify anything from that act. Legislations like the UAPDA is required, which calls out this act directly. And we'll have a look at that for the Soldier Foundation in a minute. So, like I said, this of course does play into the fact that presidential candidates will say absolutely anything that they need to get voters through the door. Of course, the UFO topic is probably at its absolute peak right now, and it's just growing because everybody wants to know the truth, especially over in the US where, this topic is very hotly debated. But this is probably one of the leading conversations when it comes to politics at the moment. Is the UFO topic. We've had congressional hearings about it, led by David Grush, of course, when he blew the whistle formally recently. We've had Lou Elizondo release his book Imminent and go on a massive media tour, which has led to more speculation. And Lou Elizondo did also appear on national news, CNN, to talk about his ideas. So it shows that the public news outlets are also starting to take this topic a little bit more seriously. But interestingly, candidates for presidency can say all they like that they can do this, but apparently they don't actually have the authority to dish out that information. So from this document here, it says, findings and declarations of Congress. 1. Preserve the centralized and all federal government UAP records. Presumption of immediate disclosure for the UAP records. Require enforceable, independent and accountable public for the UFO for public disclosure. Freedom of Information Act is inadequate in disclosing UAP records, subject to mandatory declassification review. 5 is obviously the one that's highlighted here. So it says some UAP records are exempt under the Atomic Energy Act of 1954, evading mandatory declassification. So even if a president like Donald Trump says, I want this UFO information declassified, he actually doesn't have as much authority as I think a lot of people think that he might on the topic, but just because of this Energy Act. And then there's also some other declassification issues. So it says 6, proper oversight by elected officials in both executive and legislative branches must be restored. 7, disclosure crucial for open scientific R&D, prevention of technological surprise, and in furtherance of the public interest. Moving further down. we've got this. So, documents classified as FRD cannot be declassified by the President alone. Rather, under the Atomic Energy Act of 1954, there is a process in which the Secretaries of Energy and Defense to determine whether the FRD designation may be removed, according to a Justice Department FAQ. According to the National Security Archive Director Thomas Blanton, while President can ask for the FRD designation, to be removed, the process takes forever. So it just goes to show again that regardless of who you are, whether you are a man in great power like President Donald Trump or, ex-President Donald Trump or whoever gets into power, they can say, yeah, in the build-up, we'll make that happen. But actually, do they have the correct authority to actually follow through with that promise? Once again, there is more information on this down at the bottom. So it says, mandatory declassification review is set for the Executive Order 1352, 50 USC 3161 notes relating to classified national security information, due in part to exemptions under the Atomic Energy Act of 1954, 42 USC 2011, as well as an over, and then that's kind of where it ends. So it just goes to show that at this point, yes, it's exciting that Donald Trump is saying, I have to make that happen. I will do that for the American public. I have to do it. It is my duty to do it. And on the surface, of course, that sounds absolutely fantastic. But does it actually mean that it's going to happen? Well, according to the Atomic Energy Act, no, is the categoric answer. Because although the president has the highest state of authority in the White House and in government, there are a lot of things restricting that one individual from actually being able to disclose anything. And unfortunately, the UFO topic is so tightly knit into and intertwined into all of these other I'm going to call them real world events, and legislations, that basically it's pretty watertight. So even someone as powerful as the president, and I should imagine it was probably under, John F. Kennedy's tenure when he was trying to really push this stuff out into the public, allegedly. This stuff was probably introduced to stop someone as powerful as the president, like John F. Kennedy at the time, in the future, like Donald Trump, from being able to just go, I'm in power now, Pentagon, let's see what you've got. Release it to the public, they deserve to see this. Well, actually, sir, this is a national security risk. No, I don't care, just go and do it. Just give the people what they want. I've told them that I'll do this, just go and do it. And it's probably to stop people like that from doing stuff like that. But what do you guys think? Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. While you're down there, be sure to jump scare the hell out of that like button, subscribe if you're new, tick my little bell so you get notified whenever we upload to the channel, and until next time, I'll speak to you later. Peace.